Black Clover Chapter 307, The Battle of the Spatial Mages. Finral's return, we finally get to see him in action, saving his little brother once again. And the way that last chapter, Chapter 306, ended on a cliffhanger of Zenon asking Beelzebub, his devil, let's make a deal, we finally get to see that deal into fruition. And the results for that deal turned out probably to be Tabata's best devil transformation design we have ever seen in the series, in my personal opinion. And I'm very excited to talk about it. So before we start, guys, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notification bells on and leave a like on this video. As always, our like goal, you already know, we always go for 2,000 likes every time, and I appreciate it in advance. Now let's talk about Black Clover Chapter 307, The Heart of a Devil. Alright, so the chapter begins with Zenon talking to Beelzebub, going over this certain deal. Zenon goes to tell Beelzebub, give me the heart of a devil. And Beelzebub says, a heart you say? What are you willing to sacrifice? Because what Tabata is reminding us here between this dialogue exchange is that in exchange for forbidden magic to gain more power, there must be a sacrifice if you dabble too deep into it. The greater the sacrifice, the greater the reward. And Zenon offers up everything. But there's a caveat that Zenon goes into details about for this exchange for Beelzebub to take everything. As Zenon explains to Beelzebub that you can take my everything as the contract provided, though, in this exchange the Spade Kingdom must survive and my soul is yours. You can tell that the way that Beelzebub responded to this and the way he reacted, he was unsure, but he goes on to say that I accept. Now, we're not quite sure if Beelzebub will actually listen to Zenon in exchange to protect the Spade Kingdom, because we have not seen the consequence of a devil doing a devil's bargain between a human and they break the contract and there's some collateral damage. It's not like in Jujutsu Kaisen where you break a binding vow, something bad can happen. You will suffer a penalty if you break a binding vow. So this is going to be very interesting moving forward throughout these next couple chapters, because we really not sure if Beelzebub will actually obey the rule to Zenon's wishes and conditions for this devil bargain. And I believe I have to make a video on the devil bargains because it reminds me of the situation where Asta, he made a deal with Liba to make a devil bargain to gain more power by sacrificing his arm. However, Zenon sacrificed his entire soul to gain the devil's heart, which in exchange, the survival of the Spade Kingdom, which he thought about Alan in this bargain deal because this is what Alan wanted. He wanted to protect the Spade Kingdom, and Zenon also want that as well. Yuno and Langris start to see this metamorphosis happening with Zenon's body after exchanging his soul for the devil's heart. But clearly, they not quite sure what is happening because they didn't know that Zenon is out here making a deal with the devil in mid-fight. And we see this new form from Zenon, and I gotta say, this is the best looking devil transformation design I have seen in this series. You guys comment below and tell me what's your favorite design, because Zenon's right now is top notch for me. This was just, he looks like a hollow. He looks like a Arankar. I know I brought up Bleach and Ukiyo-e in my last video, but you cannot tell me that there isn't some sort of inspiration here. Especially with the holes in their chest and the bat-like wings, there is some Ukiyo-e vibes right here. And when Yuno sees this transformation that happened with Zenon, he gets this feeling, the same sensation that he felt when he saw Zagreus. Zenon goes to explain, now that I have the heart of a devil, my strength is now beyond overwhelming. Noct already explained that the Dark Triad at 100% are nearly the level of a supreme devil. This new Zenon is beyond 100% because now he's using the power of Beelzebub to a much higher degree now, to the point where he became a devil himself. So at worst, he's equal to the level of Nama and Lilith, but more than likely way stronger than them because Zenon is using the power of Beelzebub, the space ruler of the underworld. So Langris and Yuno, and yes, we will talk about Finral, they are fighting most likely the strongest character we have seen this arc so far. And we really got to see what he's going to display to be right up there with Megicula, 1/3 of Megicula. After Yuno and Langris realize that Zenon has officially become a devil, Yuno pulls out Spirit of Boreas ready to charge in, but nothing happens. Zenon puts Yuno in that spatial box and starts to attack him with bone magic. Yuno cannot do a single thing at this point anymore. I'm fully convinced that 4-leaf clover users, yes, they get lucky with power, but in life they get cursed. and maybe that might be a video to talk about. But man, Yuno is really getting the short end of the stick between Asta and Noel this arc. This is so horrible, man. Or Yuno, because he had the opportunity to kill Zenon. Zenon talked about that. The arrow that Yuno shot, the spirit of Eurus, in order to avoid killing Langris, Yuno missed Zenon's heart. If he aimed at Zenon's heart, he would have killed Langris and also Zenon himself, and he would have won. This is the exact same scenario that Zenon did with Alan against the devil in a dungeon, but Zenon did the complete opposite of Yuno, killing his comrade in the process, where in Yuno's case, he did the complete opposite. This really sucks for Yuno, like really sucks. Zenon then proceeds to do some final strikes against Yuno, which pretty much puts him out of the battle. He's out of commission. Yuno is done for now. In this situation, this leaves Langris the last one standing. Zenon then switches his targets to Langris, ready to take him out with his bone magic out of the battle as well. But we see Finral arise to the scene. And I love this moment because Langris is in complete shock that his brother came to save him. And this is something we talked about a lot. We knew that we were going to see the spatial mages in battle all together because it makes sense. Zenon encountered Finral before, and now he's fighting his brother. Tabata set this up perfectly, and it would have been a missed opportunity if Finral didn't show up. And of course, old Langris kind of reverted back, saying like, why are you here? Came to save me again? You can tell that he's so annoyed in his face, like, wow, my brother's saving me, but you know that he's thankful for this. And we already know if they both survive, Langris is going to look at Finral in a whole different light. He already does now, but this would just be more impactful. And Finral says a dope line in this chapter. He says, he kidnapped my captain with spatial magic. There is no way I can just walk away. Now, we finally get a breakdown on why Finral is able to withstand Zenon's spatial domination, because in the last chapter, we found out that if you don't have the power to match his magic, completely overpower it, being loved by mana like Yuno, or being a spatial mage user with mana zone, then you don't have a chance. Finral does not have mana zone as of yet, but Finral is able to use Fallen Angel Flapping directly on Langris, and it's called no time spatial movement. Now, the reason why this is different than Finral using that spell in a basic matter, because all he's doing is sending out his spatial magic to his targets and sending them to a different location. But with Langris, he already created a special domain within himself, which is the mana zone. And since Finral is inside the mana zone directly touching Langris while using the spell, this will give them the opportunity to not teleport separate, but teleport together. This no time spatial movement was described to be instant. So think of Goku using instant transmission, but with magic, and that is what Finral is doing with Langris, and that is how the chapter ended, with these two ready to take down Zenon together, which, to be honest with you, I don't see it happening. I think Zenon is just far too strong right now. Can't wait to see what he's capable of though, but I do love the idea that Finral is here because this is the backup that Yuno is going to need. Even though we have seen cases where Magna took down Dante, and we did not see that happening, but narratively, this is still Yuno's fight. I believe that he will do the final blow. I don't think that Tabata is going to botch out Yuno in this regard. But more importantly, I believe that they're going to need a captain to show up in this circumstance. They're going to need someone like Dorothy to counter-react with her glamour world by dominating the spatial domination, and that can change the entire outcome of the fight. But one thing that needs to change is your subscription feed by subscribing to me with notification bells on and leaving a like on this video. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed. And I'm out.